Okay, I did a video a while ago explaining why I use FL Studio, and then it ended up being this sort of hate rant on Ableton users, which is not really what I intended. But I wanted to make a little goofy little posting here about how there are so many gatekeepers in music, and I don't think that's fair. Music is about the music. It's not about the gear, it's not about the equipment you use, it's about the skill you put into it. The fact that there's even a phrase pretengineer is like inherently bad for the culture, bad for the music community. There are people who hate on Focusrite. There are people who hate on FL Studio. There are people who hate on Logic. There are people who hate on bedroom producers. People who have the KRK speakers. It's like, what do you have to gain from doing that, right? Because the only thing that is communicated through that sort of behavior is that you're insecure about your job. Like, people are constantly saying, well, the music industry is oversaturated now with all these bedroom producers who downloaded Fruity Loops to make beats, as if having access to the music industry without going to university or having a shit ton of money saved up, as if that's not, broadly speaking, a good thing. And I mean, Pro Tools is only the industry standard DAW because Pro Tools is expensive and it's like the one that's in all the studios. It's not because it's a better piece of software, because it barely works. It's a piece of dog shit that's also cringe and sussy. Like, legit, people only use Pro Tools because they're supposed to use Pro Tools. I mean, give it an actual reason that actually explains a difference between features between the DAWs, that explains why you use Pro Tools over any other DAW. Because you don't have one. You don't. If you start by saying it's the industry standard, I'm just going to stop listening. Because anyone who says the phrase industry standard unironically in any context, but especially in music, you just don't have opinions that are worth listening to. Because industry standard, that's a construct. That's a capitalist pseudo construct that doesn't mean anything. It's good because everybody uses it. That's what you're saying. And it's not even true anymore. Like, all of the major producers use FL Studio these days, especially for hip hop. And for EDM, everyone uses Ableton. So I mean, you gotta think a little bit there, buddy. Think, do a little thinking, boy. Like, I saw this person saying, "Oh, well, if you have a Rode NT1A plugged into a Focusrite Scarlett, you're not really a mixing engineer, what, or a recording engineer." I mean, what defines a recording engineer to you, right? Because people who are actually proper engineers that went to school for engineering, they don't work in music, because you're not an engineer either. You just have more expensive equipment to do the same thing, and it sounds the same too. It's not audibly any different. Because really what matters more than microphone or equipment setup is the quality of the thing you are recording and the quality of the person doing the recording. I mean, beyond that, the microphone you're using, it has such a small difference, because I've used expensive microphones and I've used cheap microphones, and I can't tell. I mean, obviously there are terrible microphones that will obviously have an effect, but I mean, if you have a $200 mic, it'll sound the same as a $2,000 mic, and there's no way of you can't prove me wrong on that one. I literally just can't tell the difference. The only thing you should worry about is frequency response. I know, yeah, I'm exaggerating a little bit. Yeah, you can tell the difference between different quality grades of equipment, obviously, but you can't just gatekeep people out of the industry because they're not using equipment that's as nice as yours. I have a Blue Yeti on my desk, but I would never use it for recording. But even still, there are people who use Blue Yetis to do their recordings, and guess what? If they're recording good music, it doesn't matter what gear they're using. And Focusrite Scarletts have amazing preamps, and there's no reason to hate on them at all. The only reason people hate on them is because they're cheap. But every studio has an Octa pre in it, so I mean, it's the same preamp. It's the same preamp. There's just more of them. Did you know it suddenly becomes better when it goes through ADAT or Thunderbolt? Did you know that, guys? Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that you can't mix on headphones because even though you get better quality audio on headphones, you get more clarity on headphones. Literally, the only reason you can't mix on headphones is you get listening fatigue. That's the reason. And if you're going to use speakers, you have to have a treated room. So I mean, people are just people just hate and gatekeep and like pretend that they're right when they're not, just because they're insecure about their purchases and their place in the industry, when they know that someone who is in like 14 in their bedroom in FL Studio is doing better work than they will ever do. If you're worried about the industry being oversaturated, get better at your job. Competition is good for industry, okay? Just get better at your job, then you won't have to worry about it. If you are a class above, if you are worried about people charging less, then provide a service that is worth charging more for. Provide a service that people want to pay for. But really, you are just proving to the entire like music community, right, that all you are doing by charging more is just charging more. You are getting the same result for more money, and you are like complaining at people using cheaper equipment as if that actually has that much of an impact. As if the SM58 and the SM57 aren't like $100 mics and are used on basically every recording. So like beep beep bop boop beep boop ba. And then you get people who are like, oh, well, the quality of your cables matters. Oh, you gotta wrap it over and under and over and under. It's like, what difference does it make if I just throw the fucking cable in my closet, bro? What difference does it make, man? What difference does it make if I just throw the cable in the closet? It looks nicer? Yeah, it looks nicer when it's wrapped up nicely and then you throw it out and it comes out flat. Sure, and I do wrap it up over under, by the way. But but like, what is your what are you trying to achieve there, bud? What are you trying to achieve? Really, you just got to think about what these people are trying to achieve by saying this stuff to you. Is they're trying to discourage you from making music, and don't be discouraged. I guess that's all you can really say. Is if you want to make music, make music. No one's stopping you. Even if these people are going to be angry at you and try to gatekeep you out of the industry, don't listen, man. Just do whatever you want to do. If you want to use a Scarlett 2i2 to record your friend rapping over a beat you made in FL Studio, do it, release it, and if you get famous, you can get famous. Is if you do a good job, right? Like, the industry producers don't want you to know this. It'll sound the same. Just lick my nuts, bro. If you're DIing a guitar, it sounds the same as running it through an amp in a studio. So, I mean, if you had proper amp simulation, I mean, like Ableton Live stock amp simulation sounds the same as a real amp. It sounds exactly the same. Logic's stock amp simulation sounds the same, bro. It sounds the same as a real amp. You know how you can get a bass guitar sound without like even worrying about it? Put a Reese bass through Native Instruments guitar rig. Seriously, do it. I like legit. It sounds like a bass guitar. That's like you can put basically anything through guitar rig with the right settings, and it sounds like a guitar. So don't be gaslit. Don't be gatekeeped. Don't be girl bossed around. Okay, just make your cool music. And if you want tips on how to do music in cheap, tricky little ways, give me a little subscribble. Give me a like and subscribe, bro. Yeah, because I'm greedy about that. I got 42 subscribers, and I'm looking to get 42,000 by the end of 2023. Anyways, yeah. So, bing bong, bing bong. Thanks for watching.